6 things to consider. Things that I want you, as your Christian life coach, right? Imagine this is just you and I. Things that I want you to evaluate and to adjust. Things that could I want you to know this. These are the things that could absolutely change everything. And so I want you to just hear this question, and I want you to answer this in the comments. What if, by deciding to make simple changes, you could see major results? If I told you we just need to make simple changes and you will see results, would you be willing to make those simple changes so that you could lose the weight? Put it in the comments. Would you be willing? Would you be willing? Because that's what I'm going to talk to you about today, is what you need to be willing to do. What you need to be, where is the dog? I can't even see her. What changes you need to be willing to make. That it's simple things. If you are not seeing the changes that you want, it's because of the choices that you've made. And I know you know this because I say it a lot. It's just the choices that you keep making. And so today we're going to discuss how it is that you need to modify those choices that you're making just slightly. And so here's really what I hope that you're going to walk away with today. I want you, if you're taking notes, I want you to write this down. I want you to walk away with this today. My decisions lead to change because my decisions lead to my change because they cut off any other choice. My decisions lead to change because they cut off any other choice. I want you to get that. And I'm thinking of a good example I want to share with you today of how you can see this played out in the life of a believer who believed and behaved differently. If change is not happening for you right now, I invite you to simply step back and to hover over your life for a minute, to step back and to actually look at who you're being. And I want you to think about this question in your head, or even answer it in the comments. Have you gone far enough in changing your actions? Have you gone far enough in changing your actions? The results that you have right now are all a result of the actions that you've been taking day after day. And I want you to be real with yourself. I want you to start just thinking about these last couple of days, who you've been, how you've been showing up. Reflect on your daily life, right? Because there are areas right now in your life that you have changed, right? And these are probably obvious areas. Like maybe you stopped drinking pop. Maybe you've become strong enough and you've actually cut out the alcohol. Maybe you've stopped eating pretzels and bread or chocolate or potato chips. Or maybe you've only changed the frequency with which you allow yourself to eat those things, to allow those things that you know are not right for you in this season, right? You're not doing it every day. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is the thing about weight loss. Weight loss is all about consistency. It's all about the consistency with which you keep doing what is right. I want you to get that. If weight loss right now isn't happening for you, you didn't change, you didn't remove enough of what you know you shouldn't be doing, what you shouldn't be eating, of the ways that you need to stop thinking, right? You do, like you very likely right now, you do a lot of what is good and you do a lot of what is right, But good and right won't matter if not good and not right is tolerated often. Is this making sense? This is what's called living with a sin tolerance. You've allowed yourself to choose to live that way despite knowing that you've already been set free from the power and the effects of sin, the power and effects of the things that you keep choosing. You are choosing the outcome that you're living in right now, the outcome that you're having. This right now is all about you deciding. This is all about you cutting yourself off from the wrong choices. And so I want to give you an example. I'm hearing this. This is a good example. I can see this as a good example. Let's say that I'm going to stop cussing, because that happened, right? I radically changed when I became born again. I've decided, and I say, right? I think I've decided. And I say that I'm going to stop cussing, but yet I keep thinking in a cuss language, right? Like I keep thinking in a cuss language in my head while I'm talking to myself. And then I keep cussing while I'm talking on the phone to certain friends, right? Or I'm allowing myself to cuss out loud when I'm home alone. Or if I'm driving in the car and somebody cuts me off and I cuss at them. But then I don't cuss at church. I don't cuss in front of my kids. I don't cuss in front of my grandmother. Or when I'm in the office near my boss or around certain coworkers. Or I don't cuss when I'm lunching with my Christian besties. If this is how I'm showing up, I haven't quit cussing at all. I've only chosen to stop cussing in certain situations. And if this is how I'm approaching becoming somebody who doesn't cuss, I will begin to wonder why it's so hard for me to quit cussing. Right? Like, do you see that? And so in this example that I'm giving you, you can see it's because I haven't decided to actually quit. I just choose when to cuss and when not to cuss. Right? I feel like that's the perfect example. Because to decide, when you decide, that means that to decide means to come to a resolution in your mind. To make a choice between two alternatives. To cuss or not to cuss. To be renewed, to not be renewed. To stop conforming, to conform. Like, you get what I'm saying. It's to make a final choice. Remember, I think I shared this back in January. Jesus was resolute in his decision to ascend. Ladies, you have to be resolute. And to be resolute means you decide and you cut it off. Right? Jesus was resolute in his decision to ascend. That came from Luke 9, I think it was. Can you be resolute and irresolute at the same time? You know, it seems like you can't, but the example I just gave you shows you that you can. It's called being half-hearted. It means being hesitant. It means not being fully committed. It means wavering. Like, it's how you pretend to commit, but you only pretend because you refuse to let go of the old. You don't break up with the old in order to commit to the new life. Right? It's how we actually live in the old life while desiring the new life. It's how you remain stuck, one foot in this world, one foot in heavenly places. You're completely divided. You're completely double-minded. You can't change by staying the same like this. Is this landing on your heart? Because change comes from making a choice and then deciding to live out that choice every single day. So many of you are successfully doing it in your commitment, your decision to be committed to one man right now, in your commitment to be a mother, in your commitment to serve at the church and your commitment to follow Jesus. You decided to do that. You have to decide to be that choice, right? Like, I am now being the version of Sherry Capella who doesn't cuss. Just like I'm now being the version of Sherry Capella who decided to follow Jesus, who decided to stop cheating, who decided to stop living in my will, who decided to be a living sacrifice, who decided to be set apart, who decided to be fully persuaded, who decided to stop cheating with food, who decided to stop being lazy, who decided to be who I know I'm allowed to become. And now I have become the woman who decided and who now eats food, who eats the right food, who does hard things. If you don't know what to change for weight loss, you already know what to change for weight loss. You have to be willing. But if you're struggling right now and you're stuck, I want to ask you 6 powerful questions. Wherever there's an area of your life that impacts your weight loss, which kind of means every area, right? These are going to be the things with regard to the actions that you're taking, the foods that you're choosing to allow yourself to eat, and the thoughts that you keep allowing yourself to believe because you're not even taking them captive. The first question is this. Again, these are around your thoughts, your beliefs, your behaviors, your actions. Okay, the first question is this. The things that you know you shouldn't be doing. Does the Bible expressly prohibit this action? Does it prohibit this action, this food, this drink, this thought, this attitude, this behavior? Does the Bible expressly prohibit it? The second question. I see Kai is on. It showed me that. The second question. Does this action that you keep choosing, does it take me away from loving, worshiping, or serving God? Does this action, this choice, take me away from loving, worshiping, or serving God? And ladies, I challenge you right here. I want you to remember the idol test. If you don't remember it, let me know, tag me and let me know. But I want you to memorize the idol test, because this is the very thing that's going to help you in your moments of self-coaching. Your ability to start self-coaching, to coach yourself, is essential if you want to be resolute in your decision to actually ascend to the next level, to that next level of living that is completely available to you right now. You just have to take it. The third question. Does this food or thought or action make me a slave? Nicole, the idol test that I've been sharing a lot in these seeker sessions is, does this give me what I want or what I need? Write it down, practice it, memorize it. Have it become a fabric of, woven into the fabric of who you're being. So that third question is, does this food or thought or action make me a slave? Because that's how you get stuck in bondage. Okay, I got to stay on course. The fourth question, I think I'm on 4. Does my desire for this food or this action, does it dominate my thoughts? Right? Because that's what's under our gluttony and our slothfulness, is it's our corrupted desires. That's all it is. is it's the corruption that's been done to us that we don't hate in the form of our desires. So does this desire for this food or action or inaction, does it dominate my thoughts? Right? This is where your excuses become your reasons. All right, number 5. Is this bringing out the best in me, consistent with God's purpose for my life? Is this bringing out the best in me, consistent with God's purpose for my life? And the last question. Does this choice, or the way that I'm showing up, or who I'm being, does it benefit other believers? Oh, man, ladies, this would have radically snapped me out of my coma, would have ripped me out of the world, would have cut between spirit and soul, would have enabled me to see myself through a spiritual mirror. I want you to get this, your transformation is on the other side of you being absolutely so profoundly self-aware that you are getting real and honest with yourself. That's the only way you're ever going to be able to start trusting yourself again. You can right now decide to become who you are free to be. But you have to understand that your freedom means complete dependence on God and His spiritual leadership within you. Your freedom does not mean, your Christian freedom does not mean your complete independence, where you can do things the way that you want to do and be self-led. That's exactly what the world has taught you. Your self-leadership and your independence is the very thing that has gotten you to the point where you are reasoning and justifying living on the broad path. I want you to know that in order for you to find freedom from the struggle that you're walking with right now, that you're giving life to, your freedom, you're going to find the ability to have that freedom that your heart is desiring, so that you can actually be who you are meant to be every single day, is available to you right now in this moment with a decision. But you've got to seriously see who you're choosing to be. And you have to start crucifying who you've allowed yourself to be, and to then actually start doing the painful things and stand up and start deciding to be remastered and refueled by resurrection power instead of your self-power. I want you to know this. You cannot do any of this without God's presence. You need His presence and you need His power to please Him and to honor Him. You need lack of His presence and your power to please yourself and to honor yourself with your choices. But if you want to honor God, if you want to please Him with your choices, with your life, with your body, it's going to require His presence. Doing any of this without Him is how you behave without renewed belief. Right? But when you're doing this with Him, that's how you make space to actually experience your transformation. Because then you're actually believing truth as you act in alignment with it, as you act in accordance to what you believe. It's all about what you are believing while you're behaving. Because if you're just behaving without believing, that's just a diet. And that's how you're weakened. Without believing while you're behaving, you're not going to lose weight and keep it off. That's how you'll get frustrated. That's how you won't change. That's why change isn't happening. You cannot change without deciding to become the woman who changed. Just like I decided to become the version of me who no longer cusses. That's how you decide to be the version of yourself who stopped cheating on herself. That's how you decided to stop cheating on what's possible in your future. And so for those of you in the thinner circle, I want you to take this conversation to our chat. I want you to share with us there in the chat. Like, admit to us what you're going to change, what you're going to stop doing, and when. And then let us know also in the chat what it is that you need right now in terms of accountability. And then show up and do that. I'm not going to chase you and say, hey, you're not showing up. You know you're not showing up. And then start being accountable. I mean, I want you to see this. Thanksgiving is in 18 days. What outcome do you want then? Do you want to be stronger than all of the enticements that you've previously allowed yourself to be tempted and taken off with at Thanksgiving? If you want to be stronger by Thanksgiving, then you have to decide right now. You have to know that God will make you stronger than every single thing, everything you're believing about Thanksgiving. He'll make you stronger than everything at that Thanksgiving table. But between now and Thanksgiving, you have to do those hard things. You have to decide to implement intentionally doing the hard things every single day. So what are those hard things that you have to intentionally decide to do every day? You have to commit and then every day recommit. Start crucifying your flesh. Otherwise, you're just coddling yourself. What hard things do you need to decide that you need to start doing? What hard things do you have to decide no longer belong in the life of the woman that you're becoming? Who do you need to be in order to become stronger in just 18 days, right? What must you begin believing while you're behaving as you make space for God to strengthen you? Can He make you stronger while you're doing easy things, right? He needs the hard things to make you stronger. The hard things are the very thing that He is using to make you stronger. And so by not resisting the enemy is not going to flee. By you allowing yourself to be who you've always been, you will not change. So decide. Decide means cutting yourself off from any other option. You've done it in so many other areas, you're just choosing not to here. Because the food is giving you what you want and not what you need. Decide. Be resolute in your decision. If you've not been able to change, it may be because you haven't understood that you are truly free and dead to the power and the effects of the sin that you keep tolerating. It's time for you to live in freedom. So you need to have a plan for Thanksgiving. Have a plan for each and every single day. Ladies, I do it every single day. I'm practicing what I'm teaching you, and I'm only teaching you what I'm practicing, and I'm only showing you how to do the very things that freed me. So every day you have to have a plan. You will not arrive to your desired outcome, to your desired destination on accident. If you don't know what to eat on Thanksgiving, I shared, search in the Facebook group for Thanksgiving. I just shared like a collection of all of the best things that I could come up with. My favorite things for Thanksgiving. Favorite dishes. Things that will make you feel like you're not missing out. I encourage you to make sure that you're coming to this Facebook group. Check in here. Receive the notifications. Turn them back on. When updates are made, go and make time to look at them. Do the work, right? The enemy is going to tempt you to ignore everything I'm sharing with you. He's going to tempt you to resist the wrong thing. Start resisting the right things, the things that mean you harm. And so, Thinner Circle, I want you to share in our private chat the things that you're going to change as a result of the decisions that you're making, where you're going to be resolute so that you can come higher. And so I'd love to hear any of the answers to any of these questions that I've shared with you. And if you're needing coaching who are still listening, I want you to put in the chat what you're going to change and what your prayer request is. You can do hard things. You have within you everything you need. You just have to decide to believe it and to behave in alignment to what you believe. This is how you walk by faith.